All right. Well, here we go. Hello, everybody who was already waiting, and anybody who's watching the recording afterwards. To both sides of you, forgive me if I suddenly go silent for like 10 or 15 seconds at a time. That will be because I'm eating a spoonful of my brownies and s'mores ice cream from the small local place called the Old Fashioned Ice Cream Shop. Nice, small, independent little ice cream shop business with all kinds of rare, like exotic flavors. But most importantly, nice human beings, no AI, no shareholders. The people who work there and the woman who runs the place are the only ones that get the money. The money's not going off to Wall Street. So let me take a spoonful of this. What is this? What is going on here? I have no idea what this is. YouTube is breaking down. YouTube's having a stroke. Let me try refreshing and see if that does anything. YouTube. There we go. Uh Why are you talking about me in the third person? I'm right here. You can address me directly. Speak like a person. All right. Unfortunately, the bathymetric site, which has been our substitute for Google Earth, since Google Earth usually lags the stream out, uh, is under maintenance at the moment. So, yep, under maintenance until about an hour from now. But if I waited an hour to do the stream, a lot of you guys wouldn't show up because that's really inopportune hours for Euro viewers, and a lot of people are just starting to wind down by then. So, for the first time in a while, we're going to visit our old nemesis and see how it feels like cooperating. Are you going to cooperate, Google Earth? Oh, yeah, I was looking at Tuvalu after the economics video. All right, there's only a few things or only two main things to go over tonight in terms of stuff that's actually happened. So let's see who is or isn't here. So three capped off at three. I probably started a bit too late. All right, let me eat a scoop of ice cream then, and I'm just gonna get right into things. Okay, so to give people a bit of time to show up properly, uh, Google Earth, we have to switch back over to yellow. I'll start off with the secondary subject, which is the US's big new, I think it's called Project Vault or whatever. One of, again, yet another signal nail in the coffin that Taiwan is upcoming, as China is still the source of the technical majority of the world's rare earth metals. It is down to somewhere close to half now, but that is, still technically a majority when no other individual country provides larger than like 7%. But it used to be close to 90%, but it is still 50% from China. So while China, as we talked about previously, one of the most recent things they had started doing since last summer was beginning to over import crude oil and to shore up their domestic strategic fuel reserves in case of whatever degree of disruptions and cutoffs come once their attempted take of Taiwan starts, and also vastly over purchasing gold and silver and platinum to shore up their financial strategic reserves. Now, the U.S. has, under the pretense of it being Trump doing it for the sake of narcissism, granted, he probably is in on his own part, he is doing it for the sake of narcissism, but the people who whispered in his ear and put the idea in his head are those from the actual like strategic apparatus behind the normal US government face. And the idea is now, and this has been reflected in the ongoing and now even more sudden upsurge in rare earth prices. The US, similar to China with oil and with precious metals, the US is now over purchasing various rare earth metals, not just from China, but from the other sources that now exist as well, like Vietnam, Thailand, Australia, and is going to be stockpiling those to run through whatever amounts is required while there is likely disruption from China while the invasion is going on. Granted, again, for many things, China is still going to keep exporting stuff. And see, this is another reason to not like Google Earth. Why do you do this? China is, even while doing the invasion, going to want to keep exporting things because its economy is kind of export dependent. It's just that no shipping company or industry is going to want anything to do with this whole general area while that's going on. So China, import and export wise, is going to be heavily restricted to this route or through the Sea of Japan, and maybe down near Guangxi might be able to get through as well. So it's going to be very limited on its outbound and inbound port capabilities. So it's more a case that they're going to keep exporting and importing things, but the amount they can do that by in both directions is going to be extremely choked out while the conflict is actually going on. But so, like China was doing for its own sake regarding oil and precious metals, because those are things it's heavily import dependent on, the US has now been doing the same with rare earth metals. And also, I forgot where it is, but it's around here. The primary main rare earth metal mine in the US is in southeastern California at a place called Mountain Pass. The operations there did restart some months ago and have now been expanded. That project was under works for a little while. And where is it? I think it's in Guyana, but I'm not sure. Not very long ago, under under U.S. primarily U.S. backed funding, a rare earth mine just started up in Brazil, and another one is about to start up in Chile. And those rare earths are going to, go ahead and take a guess where they're going and why, despite being listed as not very economical to operate, take a guess why those suddenly came into existence now, despite previously, while the operations were being worked out and everything was being constructed, prices were not yet economical for them. Also, operations are about to start up soon at one in Namibia, and there is yet another expansion that's about to start up at the rare earth mining site in Australia. Along with Thailand is working on upping one of theirs, but they've been having some delays with it, so we'll see how that works out. So, That's the actual reason and everything behind quote unquote Project Vault, if anyone actually wants to call it that. But that's one of the final, blatantly obvious plain sight indicators that this is coming. If there's anyone left on Earth that still actually thought it wasn't, now everyone should be here. Let's see. Only six. All right. I don't do bacon, dude. Josh is back, everybody. It's Josh. Okay. I am eating some brownies and s'mores ice cream, Josh, from Ye Old Fashioned Ice Cream Shop. Let me have a spoon of this. Let's see. They, the Allies stuff doesn't really matter much for them in this regard. You're welcome to explain to me who was going to come help them invade Taiwan. Were people like thinking Iran was going to like send its quote unquote navy over there or something? I mean, maybe like Russia's done with North Korea, China could like get some slave infantry from North Korea and like I don't know, throw them on the beaches as the first few waves to get like mowed down or something. Actually, now that I think about it, okay, that is legitimately something I could potentially see happening. Is maybe they'll make like some kind of similar deal with North Korea and uh, get some properly termed slave infantry to throw its stuff if they want to. But like that would be the highest degree to which anyone would actually help them. And someone else said something. I did not hear about anything about South Sudan. I'm assuming that was really recent. Because the last stuff I was looking at, and for anyone who just showed up, we're using Google Earth again this time because the bathymetric map site is under maintenance. Google Earth has not lagged yet on this stream, but we'll see something from it eventually. I've been paying attention to regular Sudan because there's been like 100,000 by 100,000 like mass city slash town area exterminations going on. I didn't hear anything specific about South Sudan. In regards to like if you're asking whether quote unquote the the outside world at large, uh, whether the non-associated portion or whether the West plus or quote unquote the system will care or like intervene in that, then the answer is no, because it wouldn't really be disrupting anything. Yeah, the same reason no one's actually done anything in or about regular Sudan itself. But I don't know any of the specifics going on there. I'm assuming that just came up, so I'll go look at that after the stream. But now that whatever handful of people are going to show up are probably here, but I have no what was making it like surge up to like 60 whatever during the other streams. Is it really the time window? So Iran supposedly that's drone stuff, blah blah blah. Yeah, supposedly there are quote unquote ongoing uh, negotiations, and Trump in particular keeps saying blah 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 that we're like really close to a deal or whatever. You might recognize this language because this is exactly what was being said, uh, like up until literally the day before the 12-Way War back in June of last year. So supposedly, Iran is coming to negotiations in Oman, I think they said. Uh, and ironically enough, that was where it was supposed to be last time, right before the 12-Day War started. Supposedly it's going to be on Friday. But the thing is, even if the negotiations are real, the terms being presented are intentionally things that Iran is just not going to agree to begin with. One, the one thing that, like, maybe some people could convince themselves that Iran might be willing to agree to is the no nukes part, but the other portions are ones that, like, literally no one would ever agree to this. So stop the nuclear program, but also demand number two is to also stop its regular missiles, stop making, developing, and holding like regular cruise missiles and ballistic missiles. Uh, and then the third one is like an even yet another line. It's the third again immovable point is no more influence. So uh, Iran would be obligated, quote unquote, to give up all give up all influence, all proxy groups, etc., everywhere, which is another line that it's not going to cross. And I forgot what the fourth point was, but there was a fourth point, but those are lines that Iran just won't agree with, and that's kind of the point. The point is that they won't agree to them. That's the whole intention to begin with, so that there can be a pretense. But even today, while things were going on and while all the supposed optimism was being floated around, Iran was sending drones down to buzz the Abraham Lincoln, and they started buzzing it like Venezuela was doing to some of the destroyers with its F-16s back before Venezuela happened. And one of them started getting a bit too bold, so that one was shot down. And also, the Iranian Navy, well, I'll put that in generous quotation marks, came up to and basically just harassed because, I mean, they couldn't really stop it, but they came up to and harassed an oil tanker as it was attempting to leave. Uh, just one semi at random. They came up to it and harassed it a bit and then left. And all the while, stuff has not stopped. Like, stuff is still pouring in. C-17 flights are still ongoing constantly, bringing in additional air defense systems and everything. And additional, what's the giant flying radar planes, AWACS, air refuelers and stuff. And also, uh, strategic bombers have now been flown in to Diego Garcia. So that they can jump up and go through there. Excuse me, I told you to clear the lines. Thank you. So yeah, quote unquote negotiations, quote unquote, are supposedly going to happen, but everything is still being put there to militarily act. And also, again, this is the same framework of stuff and claims about uh, being on the edge of a epic deal that will be better for everyone. The same talk that happened last June up until the literal day before the 12-day air campaign started. So I would not go putting money on like an actual negotiated thing happening because that's kind of not what U.S. Plus associated friend group strategically wants. It's definitely not what Israel wants. It's not really what Saudi Arabia wants, although Saudi Arabia is a bit cowardly about receiving potential retributive damage from Iran, but they still, by all means, would like Iran to be gone so that they have an even better stance to regionally pretend that they're like an actual power player. But the primary like points being put forward on the deal are things that Iran would just never agree to in the first place, and that's exactly the whole point of it to begin with. Let me take another spoonful of ice cream. Ah, okay. That that falls under what point three was. Hold on. What was it in one of these? No, 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 no. Okay. All right. I forgot. I forgot what point four was, and I apparently don't have any way to get back to whatever it was. But even just those three out of the four again are things that Iran would just never agree to in the first place. So the point is that it's a deal that we know they're going to reject. So those, yeah, the Iran stuff and the rare earth stockpiling, as relates to the upcoming Taiwan invasion. Those were the two main things. I don't think there was really anything else, at least that, uh, anything that popped out at me that's like stuff that I would actually talk about. Everything else was primarily, uh, as one as one chatter aptly phrased, everything else was primarily political drama rather than actual political happenings. Although I do, for the first time in like five streams, I am actually getting the feeling that I'm forgetting about something. Uh, don't think there's anything down here or there. Might have been something with India, but I can't properly recall. I apologize for any potential delay of videos compared to what would have otherwise been because of the very brief, like over the weekend government shutdown that did cause delays in various data releases that are normally done by the EIA and the USGS. So some stuff has now, because of that, been delayed for a little bit, and that's not something I have any control over. Is it anything up here? I already spoke about the Kazakhstan stuff last time. What am I forgetting? I'm forgetting something. Haven't forgotten home. I would love to go back to you, my beautiful Fairbanks, Alaska. What am I forgetting? I mean, the well, there wasn't that much with Cuba other than the U.S. just signaling that we're going to do it at some particular point, kind of kind of hinting at this year. Since if we really want that done, it would probably be wise, like with the Venezuela thing, to do that and get that out of the way before China goes for Taiwan. So if that is a main priority, then the window on that is kind of closing pretty quickly. All right, I don't remember what I think I've forgotten, so I'm gonna eat some more ice cream. Uh, yes, they did. They did launch a massive drone attack, but Russia kind of does that every night. I mean, uh, this one's different this time because it like actually hit something meaningful. It hit a regional like district heating station as opposed to what uh, they normally prefer to do, which is to just hit random playgrounds and apartment buildings. So this was one of the times they actually hit something like important. Still wasn't a military target, but actually has a impact this time. Uh, how how recent? Because people keep bringing up stuff that apparently must have just happened because I didn't hear anything. Hold on, let me go over to the news section. Let me see. Okay, yeah, that's recent enough. Like 1 day ago. I don't literally say, or I don't literally like scan through and news search every single country every single day. I do that like usually once a week, except for like the bigger like top 10 countries, because stuff like that will just show up in my regular feed anyways. Okay, I was not aware that had just happened. So I'll look into the details of that later. And if there's anything specific about it, I'll say something on Thursday or Friday. Let's see. I'll probably. I don't know if I'll do Thursday or Friday though. I will do one of them, but I don't know which one I'll be streaming on. It'll depend whether or not anything actually happens. Let's see. Was there anything else? No. And Josh is no. He's lurking. He's not dead. He is alive. and I almost finished my ice cream now. All right, that is, let's see, just about 30 minutes. And that's probably where it's going to stop because not much else happened in specifics that I heard about, at least, before starting this. So, let's see. Few other random things if it feels like loading. The uh, the map has been further updated. For anyone who doesn't know, blah blah blah. Used to live up in Fairbanks Plaza, blah blah blah. I was able to live off of only about 8 grand a year. So on my journey back to trying to return to earning 8 grand a year, I figure I'll start doing this annual map thing. Since world population is a little over 8 billion, $1 equals 1 million people who get to survive the apocalypse as arbitrarily decided by me. And everything, all the stuff from all of the like super chats and everything from last month was already on there. But I added random locales based on the income received from ad revenue and from Patreon for the past month. So additionally, now our neighbors back up home, Yukon, and one of the better provinces of Canada, British Columbia, get to survive the end of the world, along with Washington, because I need Seattle as my airport hub to go back and forth between Fairbanks and where my parents live and where I'm currently stranded here in South Carolina. South Carolina, so that my parents get to live through in California because it was an easy 40 million, and that's exactly how much I got from Patreon converted into $1. I got $40, not $40 million. 40 million would be amazing, but that is not what I received from Patreon. And then let's see, Massachusetts, Costa Rica, Northern Ireland, Wales, and Belarus got thrown on. So that's where that stands as of the moment. And that's going to be the end of this one, unless anything else came up from anybody. Fate in Latin America. Did I just hear my voice? No. Okay, I'm muted. In Latin America, it would be. Oh, that's a tough pull between between Chile and Peru. For South America and for the Central American portion, it's immediately Panama. But for South America, it's a South Pole between Peru and Chile. I I'm gonna leave them split 50-50 for now. Well, let me eat some ice cream. Tunisia and Algeria, though, uh, the Tunisia was me saying is like the safest country, best country to visit in North Africa. Algeria is my favorite among North Africa. Uh, North Africa is split from the rest from sub-Saharan Africa, though. If you go down to regular sub-Saharan Africa, then I'm pretty sure I've mentioned before that Namibia is my personal arbitrary favorite for regular sub-Saharan Africa. But is there anything else? Sophie, Josh's cats mentioned his cat Sophie. I should still have her picture here somewhere. Let me show you guys Sophie before the stream ends. Yeah, this is Josh's cat, Sophie. She's doing a bear stand in this picture. She was standing up on her hind legs because Josh was being negligent and had not fed her at the appropriate scheduled time. So that's his cat, a fluffy white puff cloud. All right, and that's probably going to be it. Sorry, the stream was short, but that all always depends on what does or doesn't happen. But I'll see you guys around.